All right, let's talk about this then. Some media and how things are run behind the scenes, so to speak. We had a question last week. Said, ask Uncle Neely, what's the dynamic between himself, Reach the People Media, Well Off Media? How do they decide what's going to be shot, what's going to be filmed, and what's going to be put out? If they're filming the same thing, basically, how do they get different perspectives, so to speak? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, man, I'm glad to. I think that's a great question. One, I think people have to appreciate and understand this ain't our first rodeo. We were together at Jackson State doing this. And so we have a good sense of what fits somebody else's style of coverage, versus the other outlets. So, we're not quote unquote in each other's way and not really covering the same thing in the same kind of dynamic. Because, like you said, there's a lot of times we are in the same room, we are covering the same thing, but it looks different on all three different channels because we have our own personalities and what we see and what we like and what we look for. Outside of that, we totally do different things throughout the day. I do more of the sit down interviews with the players and in depth with Coach Prime's guests. Bucky with Well Off Media is that day to life vlogging going on, what's really happening with each player in the building all day, and then you got Reach the People with Darius, which is kind of a mix of both. So we're not in each other's way. We never even sit around and discuss like, hey, you got this, I got that. It really just has happened organically, since the Jackson State days, and we kind of know, oh, that's his thing, he got that, or no, that's what he likes to focus on, so he has that. And there's no doubt about it, man. With the three channels embedded in the building, and that building being 5 floors, and it being 100 people on the team and 30 on the staff, you're not going to see the same thing every day on each channel. It's just
Right.
like when you and I do a show together, and we could talk about gaming and WNBA and anything else, and I can go do a show with somebody else, or you could do a show with, say, Adam, and it's still a totally different show because you're talking to a totally different person. And so the different
Exactly.
personalities come out of each other chemistry wise. But it's really a good fit, the three of us there, because we never crowd each other's content or, man, we can be in the huddle filming Coach Prime's speech before practice. And by the time we all three put it out, if we all three put it out, looks totally different because one of us may be focused on a player as he's listening, and somebody else is focused on Coach Prime. So it really just works well, man. You would think that it'd be somewhere like we're in each other's way, but it is yet to happen, and that's now
Yeah.
4 years.
Big time right there. You guys are definitely doing some trend setting type things. Have there been other media outlets kind of reached out to you guys that either for consulting or just to have you guys on to kind of pick your brains and things of that nature?
Oh yeah, all the time. We hear from people who want to duplicate this at different schools, and not even just football. Like one of my passions is basketball. I used to play it and coach it, and so I've had mid majors, Power Five, HBCUs. Hey, we want to create a platform like you have for football for our basketball program, and we've been consulting on stuff like that in the past and even presently. So a lot of folks see what's happening, and they understand how having an internal but yet external media outlet. Here's what I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that. You're embedded with the head coach at his or her discretion, but you don't actually work for the school. And so you get to do things differently from the institution can do. And it just helps recruiting. It helps exposure because it's expensive to fly around the nation and try to show people what's going on when you could just have somebody there doing their thing content wise and show the world every day.